morning to all.
Good morning.
Good morning. Shannon, you want to go ahead and do your breakfast fast? Okay.
May as well. Guys, it's not Friday. This is Breaking Fast, the Sunday edition. So, welcome to Breaking Fast with the Blakes.
Well, I just want to go ahead and get it all kicked off for ones who don't understand or what we're doing. Each fifth Sunday, we try to do something out of the norm, out of traditional church. And this fifth Sunday, we decided to bring our mothers on with us, which is a great opportunity for us to gain some wisdom and for them to share their hearts and everything that's going on with them, as well as doing ministry, because we know that it's very important for family to remain close and to do ministry together. And during this time, I'll just introduce my mom, which is Dr. Barbara Blake.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everybody. This is me, mom. This is me, mom, right here. And I'll just give one little quick shout out to both of them. In the next 10 days, both of them will have a birthday, and we're excited about that. And fifth Sunday, so Chandra, if you would introduce your mom.
All right. This is my mother, Geraldine Great. For those of you that know her, she'll introduce herself to you as one of the greatest women that you will ever meet, and she is that. And like I said, this Friday we get to celebrate hers, and then within those 10 days it'll be the other mama birthday. Yeah. So we all gonna have a good time celebrating them.
And if I'm not mistaken, thank you. If I'm not mistaken, it's September the 4th. Yes. September the 4th for Mother Great, and for Dr. Barbara Blake is September the 10th. We are excited. But it's something else they have, not just in common with the close thing. They actually grew up in the same city, not knowing each other at the time, and even knowing some of the people around. So that was great. Something else that they have in common that y'all may not know is a moment I share with you. They're also both former first ladies. Mm-hmm. So they know what it is to be married to ministry and to be married to a minister as well. Mm-hmm. So we're going to get them to share. Do y'all want to say anything before we get started? And I just want to share, throw some questions out to you all. Y'all have anything y'all want to share?
I say good morning to everyone, and let us rejoice and be glad. And this is the day that the Lord has made.
Mom?
Be blessed, children.
Hold
on. That's great. Well, I want to talk a little bit about it. We know we have a lot going on in the world today with for pandemics, racial tension, and different things. And sometimes the devil can try to invoke fear in us. But I want y'all to share a little bit about fear, but not just fear, but our faith versus our fear. What that looks like for you all on a daily basis, and how does that feel?
Faith versus fear. When I was younger, as you grow up, as time passes on, you're young, you don't really think about fear a whole lot like you do when you get old. As you season in life, you get better in those areas, because sometimes you take chances and things that I wouldn't even dare to do. So in this season of my life, even with the pandemic, I'm not really afraid of that. The pandemic itself and other things that's going along in life, especially with physical challenges or whatever, I just try to remember that God is He's in charge and He's with us at all times. So I try to stay focused basically on who He is instead of worry, because word will mess your head up. Mm-hmm. And if you get the word too much, you're going to become that person that you are engaging in those thoughts all the time.
When I think of faith versus fear, one thing that comes to mind that was real dramatic at during that time, during my early years of salvation, and we had this reckless, crazy faith. Mm-hmm. And some people know me from that, probably remember us, where we used to get out on the street corners and different things, and people would threaten to kill us, and they threatened to run over us, and they weren't playing. They actually got out there in their cars and tried to run over us. They actually came with guns to shoot us. Somebody even came to the house to shoot me. And had faith that they had to rise up. And I had to stand on the word and believe the word that God was going to keep me. And the only thing this young man, everybody in town knew him at the time. If they know me, they know we were in ministry in Plant City, Florida. And I'm not going to call it a name, but the ones that know me or know us from there, they probably remember him because he would do a lot of crazy things. And he threatened to kill me one night. And he didn't. I know he wasn't playing because he had already burnt the neighbor's house down. He already had shot holes in somebody's boat trying to drown him and this kind of stuff. So when he got to me, I said, well, shoot me if you can. My faith rose up because I felt like that he couldn't do it unless the Lord led him. I said, shoot me if you can do it. In my mind, I was thinking to die in Christ would be a gain. I was being crazy right then. I didn't come to myself because I was in the spirit right then. So you can get in the spirit and you'll do some things and say some things that you wouldn't do in your normal flesh. Then when you come back in your spirit, that's like going up the tree and you get up there and you come to yourself and wonder how you're going to get down. Well, that day he decided he wouldn't kill me. He went back to my friend's house. Some of y'all know Sister Linda. He went back and he told her he didn't kill me because I was crazy. So the Lord saved me that day because, hey, the enemy thought I was crazy.
You know what I pulled from that, really? You were, but you was walking in crazy faith. And I think sometimes in today's society, we spend so much time being so smart that we don't allow God to move where we have the great testimonies. I know this story that's probably 35 or 40 years old, maybe even older than that. But it's just like things that was written in the Word of God. It's a testimony that continues to live on. Because if you didn't have that moment, it's kind of like Peter standing on the boat. Well, we wouldn't talk about Peter if Peter didn't never get off the boat and walk on water. Everyone talk about the failure and different things, but it's one thing he did. He walked on water. So that's a great testimony, what you're saying. Do y'all have any other things like that y'all would like to share? Like times y'all know that it took God, a great testimony, it took great faith, or even you didn't have faith, but God just showed up on a great testimony that you can remember at the hands of God. We read about the miracles in the Bible, but we have living miracles that we witness every day. Is there a time that y'all can remember where there was a great miracle that you knew it was the hand of God?
In my life, early on, you might have heard my daughter talk about it. I was in a car accident, and during the process of the accident, the doctor said that I would never walk again. But I didn't believe that that what they were saying. They even bought, the shoe like the polio shoe to put on the leg, and so I was kind of accepting that. But then the doctor came and said he was gonna send me off to Massachusetts for 6 months or more. Basically, I was crying out, worrying about my daughter, leaving her. I wasn't worried about my leg or hips or whatever. I was more so about her. But in the process, I prayed to God and asked him, what would be okay for me to live with. And but I was in, I fought with faith more than my fears. And I never did worry about not walking again because I just believed that I would. So I prayed. I said, Lord, don't let me go and leave my daughter. I prayed, so I was bedridden. And I said, well, how am I knowing that God going to answer me? I said, oh, a red bird. I was on the 3rd floor. I said, Lord Jesus, the doctor will come in the morning at 7 o'clock and he'll tell me I got to go, but I just believe you can work a miracle. So I said, you send that red bird, let me see it. I stayed up all night waiting to see the red bird. And the red bird did come. So I said, praise the Lord. And he showed me that. So during at that time when the doctor came in, he said, Mitch at the time, he said, you're not going to be going anywhere. We got an answer. I said, I had an answer before you did. The red bird came. And so, but past that time, I was young. I was about 39 years old. But I was raised up with a mother that always was Jesus, Jesus, Jesus all the time. It was Jesus because she was a minister to her too. So we had a lot of talk about God and believe in God. We saw a lot of miracles happen in our home too because a lot of sickness with my dad and whatever. So I'll say today to you all, you know, even though we're going through things and you might be experiencing things from life, the challenge and all, don't double down on what's going on in your life. Like Pastor said last Sunday, up, up, up. So you may be down, but you know, he said he'll go down to hell and pick you up. So just remember, I had the faith, believing I'm walking today, and I had to take 5 surgeries, but every time I was in the fight to win. So be in the fight to win.
It's something key that you just said. You said you had 5 surgeries, and sometimes we think that all our miracles just happen instantaneously, happen from the heavens. But sometimes God uses medicine.
Yes.
God uses doctors, and
Right.
that's He's given them that ability, and He has given them the knowledge of it. So, number one, don't be afraid to see a doctor. Something else I just learned out of our conversation, and Mom, I'm gonna have you to take back me on this. I didn't realize that a red bird was a signal or a sign that you was looking from God.
Yeah.
What makes that unique is because I've talked about y'all age. I talked about y'all was raised in the same city and didn't even realize it until 60, 70 years later after y'all was raised there. But then you just said something about a red bird. Mom, if you would share your experience and your red bird.
Wow.
This is new for me.
Wow.
You know this.
Okay. Redbird to me was our sign, Pastor Blake and our sign. And years ago, we used to always had this heart, I guess, to sell stuff.
Entrepreneur.
Yes. And we would buy, it's a lot to tell on that, but I can't. I'm trying to break it down. We were selling dry goods, and the red bird would lead us where to go.
Wow.
And when we get in the car, we would pray which way to go, and we'll follow the red bird. If he went east, we went with east.
Wow.
If he went west, we went west. If we saw a dead one, we stopped and turned around and go back. Whatever.
True story. True story.
It's the truth. And if the red bird went the way across, we went the way across. If it went to Albany, we went out. Just we followed the red bird sign. And honey, the Lord blessed us through the red bird so much that, and some people laugh when I said it, but I would count money in my sleep. We would make so much money. It took us off our jobs. We had even we could make more in one day than we could make all a week. Sometimes all a month. So we had to come off them jobs, but the Lord was getting us ready for ministry then. But through that, we had to learn when to stop too. When the Lord say stop, it was time to stop.
When I did red.
Right. Hey, I'm gonna stop right there because thank you so much.
That was good. I was just looking at the signs and not realizing that y'all life still was so parallel of what was going on. So such a time as this, that is really amazing. That's a new moment for me. I knew about my mom's experience with the red bird. Did not know about Mother Gray. This is
that let you know God has like destiny. You know, He knows, and then let us know that God truly does have a plan for our life, and that while He's working on an area here, He's working on another area, and when the right time comes, that paths will cross at the right time.
Yeah.
Because, you know, even with thinking about their story, not even knowing that, you know, she kept talking about the deacon that was in your church, that was when you was a little girl.
Yeah.
Not knowing that that was my grandfather's brother, Deacon Gilly.
Mm-hmm.
That was the one.
And I heard about Deacon Gilly all my life.
Yes.
Didn't realize that it was the same Deacon Gilly that was my mother-in-law, from my mother-in-law's family. It was just crazy.
Yeah. Deacon Gilly was in the church, was a deacon in the church I was going at as a small child. And every Sunday, Deacon Gilly was saying, Jesus, keep me near the cross. That's why I remember Deacon Gilly. Because every Sunday, and I didn't understand what he meant then, but I know now.
You know now. All right, you're going to preach it. And Mother Great, what's your maiden name?
Gilly.
Gilly. So we're making it full circle. Mom, I knew you was getting ready to tell a testimony earlier. We was asking about times that we know that God showed up and tell us, give us another one of your testimonies. You know we love your testimony. Just anyone that you want.
Well, one of the miracles, I'll just say one. This was a miracle, yeah. I wanted a son. Oh. Oh, this my baby.
And I wanted the money.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, you hear what she said?
And I want a daughter.
Oh, wow. We're finding out so much. Y'all just need to join in with us as we learn one another as family.
During the time we was traveling to Thomasville when the Lord spoke Thomasville, that's a story in itself. And when we got here, we used to live with a sister. God bless her. She gone on to be with the Lord. But from the first, when I met her, where I saw her in a tent revival, didn't know that she was going to be a very important part of my life. And I saw her going across the stage with her son. I remember what she looked like, what she had on, everything. And then later, when the Lord spoke to us to come to Thomasville, that wasn't the part off in the tale, but I might as well tell about her. It was a blessing in it because she was with us, but she was our secretary for 30 years. I don't know whether you know Sister Gail Robinson. Mm-hmm. That's Victor Brown, mother, and Dan, mother. But anyway, they were a blessing to us in the ministry. But during that time, we would come here, we would stay with them on every other weekend, sometimes every week back to back. But one particular weekend, Pastor Denny, we was calling him Denny at the time, in case you don't know, his name really is Israel Denard Blake. The name was Denny, and it just stuck.
Denny, it is.
And everybody just called him Denny, but that's not what's on his birth certificate. Okay. But anyway, Denny was in the woods with Vic, and at the time, we was calling him Clap.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Okay, don't do that. Okay, we will get off of that. They were in the woods, and a snake bit Denny. And his hand swelled up. I was like, it was so big you could just see the holes where the snake bit him. And we rushed him to the church now instead of rushing him to the hospital.
Yeah.
That's the way our mindset
Please don't report him.
at the time. It's too late now. He's still alive. But we took him to the church where Pastor was seeking the Lord. And when we got there, he stuck his hand out. But the very fun, the hand had gone down. The Lord had already done the work. So what? We went back home.
And only thing I hear out of that is they didn't want a doctor bill, but that's the only thing I heard. But I'm gonna ask y'all a question, and I know y'all getting up. And I know we do these stories all day. We might come back to story times with the mothers. Coin that phrase. I don't know. Y'all know I'm a baking guy, and it's hard for me to concentrate. And my mom haven't touched the baking, but we'll talk about that later. But we're talking about. I know y'all are getting up in age, and that's not anything bad because that's a blessing to get older. And as y'all get up in age, I know y'all both have done ministry. Y'all both have been first ladies. How do y'all see yourselves now? And maybe speak to someone that maybe getting up in age, they can't do what they used to do, but you know there's still a work for them to do. What does that look like on a daily basis, weekly basis, with y'all getting older in age, but still doing ministry? How do y'all do that?
The hardest part to me of that was I'm just adjusting to this. Because I was used to doing everything with Israel. And we were a team. The Lord spoke to me when we first got saved. Said, stand with your husband in his ministry. And so it was like we were one. And it's hard to even explain that to y'all. But we were so close that even when the Lord took him, well, we gave up. We gave up because he was ready. He said he was ready to go. So we talked to him. I said, Israel, if you're ready, I'll be selfish to keep you. And you're ready to go. But as long as you want to stay, I'll hold on. Mm-hmm. And same with the children. Jenny and Ray, they said the same thing. We stuck with him because that was one of the best gifts the Lord ever gave me was Israel Blake. But through it all, going into ministry, now I'm just getting up because he's been gone now like 2 years and a half. But it took me probably 2 years for me to snap out of it because I was so used to him being with me all the time. We were one. And I have to talk to you one-on-one to tell you about that. Because even when he was leaving, we was holding hands. We were still talking to each other. We were still speaking in our prayer language and encouraging one another. And we decided to just take a little nap. And I woke up and he was gone. And hey, you better get ready because the rapture is right around the corner. Some people may not believe it, but if you look around daily, you see people you thought was going to be here. They're already gone. People you thought was going to testify and for you. And hey, they're going ahead of you. But it's just something about it. I could feel, actually, you may not understand this, I could feel the virtue when it left his body. I could feel him when hit things from his innermost being as it started leaving. I could feel it leaving from my body. It is strange. It's hard to explain it to somebody. It's something else. It's something else. I just can't.
I'll ask you this here.
Yeah.
How do you recover from it, and what you do now that he's not here?
The
How do you
only
continue to do
thing got me through was first was prayer. And finally one day I thought I got to snap out of this. And I asked the Lord to just to help me to move it. So I started doing ministry, and I don't know whether Pastor Willie looking, but
He
right
will be at
now,
some point.
sometime today you probably see it, if not right now. It helped me ministering to him and his wife all the time, Sister Candace. I would talk to them, hey, my little nephew and my niece, and it encouraged me, helping them to press on in their ministry. It helped me to get the snap out because I began to do ministry from the house, doing ministry from the phone. And one person will tell another, and a lot of times they will call me. Now you can't get me probably on the house phone, but I think if you really want to get me, you have to get the cell phone. I probably stop Messenger because so many people been calling me on Messenger until I think I might have to close Messenger down.
Okay. You're a celebrity. You're a public figure. I want to do this here. I want to bring Mother Grady in on this. Mother Grady, we know that you are busy, and many people don't realize all what you do. But you do so much in ministry. Explain some of the things you do in ministry now that you are in ministry but still age.
I was before the pandemic. Was in the choir. I worked with the food bank drive. I worked with the youth department and with the intercessory group. And then I spent all along the way. I had a passion for brokenness. And then later on, it was revealed to me in the spirit that was my ministry to cover the broken women. And I don't even ask for those assignments, it look like God lead the people to me, but I asked him to help me to be able to give them part wisdom into them, and not try to just, try to correct, because we get in trouble when we try to correct. It's best to be a good listener, because I know with the experience that I've had and gone through as a younger person, I can relate to others, and sometimes people overlook people because of they're not like other people, or people are put them in a classification, and especially in the body of Christ. We have a tendency to do that, but we shouldn't. We should love our brothers and sisters the same, because this is what God requires to do, and be our brothers' keepers. But I, behind the scene, you all might not know that I do a lot of ministry on the phone, and I do outreach ministry. I touch many lives in this city, and Tallahassee, my sister and I already had a outreach ministry helping people when they're going through difficulties and, praying for them, then going reaching out to them personally. So this is part of who I am, and I enjoy it. And another thing I learned not to be stressing over things, and you might see me going along in life and think I don't have problems, but I do. But I leave them, we say, lay down your burdens and leave them to the Lord. Mm-hmm. So I just lay them down and leave it to it. And I truly can say, I don't look for miracles. Miracles, like Pastor said, you do what God said, the miracles and the blessing to overtake you. Mm-hmm. And that the Pastor said, as your soul prosper, mm-hmm. But if your soul not prospering, you might gain a little money and get a little stuff, but you ain't gonna be able to keep it. Because if your soul prospers, stuff got to come up to the soul. Mm-hmm. So I'm just grateful that in this age, and I was in accident last year, and I'll tell you, I thought last year's accident was worse than the one in '89. Because I now realized I was old and I'm more fragile. But I had to pray my way through all of it, pray my way through it. But I didn't ever stop ministering because of that. That helped me to continue on, to see myself in a better way doing that, because I didn't have to focus on what's going on with my leg, what's going on with my hip. And then as I'm going to the doctor and stuff, I being able to minister at the doctor's office and stuff, So I just thank God in this season that I'm better off, but not worrying about how I'm going to pay my bills and worry. I don't have a lot of money, whatever, but I don't worry about all these things now. He said, be content in the state that you're in. Mm-hmm. And so we all have you have a tendency to worry about, I don't have enough money, and you're working 2 or 3 jobs and still not satisfied. Mm-hmm. So you got to get to that place that you trust God. You trust God even if you don't have 5 cents in the bank. But if you got that faith, you got that, like, when Jesus was talking to the fishermen, they was out there, they, like Pastor said, they were true fishermen. Mm-hmm. Like we said, we are sold out Christians, mm-hmm. But yet we still die. We are divers. Mm-hmm. We just quickly go to the, I'm scared, I'm worried. Well, we should be just like Jesus had the fishermen. You go out in the deeper your faith, because you stay right on the edge, you're going to get sand, get sand on you.
Okay. That's good.
Get sand on you.
Once you go out in the deep, you get in the water. You're going to watch the sand
off. So,
And I guess I'm hearing both of y'all say that in the season that you're in your life, you find out that pouring into others is what has given you what you need. And truthfully, that's what all of us should be still doing. Yes. Pouring into others from what you have, from the picture that you have, so God can pour back into you.
Right. Well, I'm just admiring you. Looking cute over there, but that has nothing to do with this. But I just wanted to throw that in. Speaking of ministry, it's something that I heard, that even though y'all are getting older in ministry, that y'all still find ways to minister. Mm-hmm. It may not be in the same way that you did when you was in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, but you still finding ways. Yes. And I just want to give a tagline. You guys have been the first one to hear this. It's something we're getting ready to do in ministry that I think is great. My wife and I, we starting a counseling opportunities for for married couples called house fires, because we understand that there's little fires in the house, and sometimes it's about to burn the house down, but the attention can get to it soon enough that we believe that God has anointed us for this season to be an extinguisher, to save some of these fires from burning down the house. So get ready to hear that soon. We're going to talk more about it, but I just want to put that plug in. Also, just a way of announcement, and I'm going to come back to close us out in a minute for y'all to share some things about the new and the old, blending the old church and the new church. One other announcement is on the month of September, I'm going to do a fast for the month of September where I'm going to refrain from a lot of media, listening to negative things on the media, shows that will promote something other than building up. I'm not asking you to do the entire month with me, but I would ask that you would do each Wednesday from 6 to 6 each day, to turn off CNN, turn off Fox News, turn off social media, looking at just in and everything and just becoming critical of people's decision in lives. And those things are just overwhelming us. And I do believe that the church needs to lock down over the next 90 days, because over the next 90 days, things
A lot
gonna
of
be really, really interesting, and the church need to be in a place where we can hear from the Lord and not just have our emotions driven
Mhm.
by what we see
Absolutely.
in the
Yes.
media,
Yes.
in the media and on social media. So we'll give you more information on it, but if you don't get anything else, just know to turn those devices off, turn those televisions off each Wednesday from 6 to 6, just for a time of reflection, just a time to get your hearts and minds right without all the negative stuff. Try to put as much positive music, inspirational speaking, positive,
Yes.
those things, and see if it guides our day.
Yes.
Now I'm gonna come back to you all, and we're gonna try to end out with this. And I don't know if there was a tagline. I know this is one of our usual services, and I normally try not to do this, but I want to just throw it in. If you would like to give, and not saying give to this, we know this all going back to the church. Please feel free to do so. I don't know if it's on the bottom of the screen or not. You give them that opportunity, but you can give to dojm.org, or either you can text any amount to 84321, or either send it to our P.O. Box. P.O. Box 2763, Thomasville, Georgia 31799. Again, I'm gonna give you those 3 ways of giving, and this is not about money, but we know we still functioning and we still need to have monies. Again, dojm.org. You can give to give now. Text 84321, any amount, or P.O. Box 2763, Thomasville, Georgia 31799. Mom, I saw your hand.
I thought about it. Somebody said she like to talk about giving. I do, because it's a blessing in it. People may not understand it, but we started out in house services, even in Plant City, and then the Lord prophesied for us to come to Thomasville, Georgia. When we started out here, we started out in the house, we started out there in the house, and we have built. I won't take time to try to count, but we built a lot of churches. Help people build. I'm talking about new churches from the ground, and a lot of ministers have come out of our churches, and you get help through helping others.
Yes.
We always took time to help other people, and it, for some reason, a lot of ministers was born out of our church, even through our pain, even through when we first moved here. Our oldest child had just died. Our grandchild died right after we got here. But we began pouring into foster kids. We began to help other people in so many ways, and giving finances when we didn't have finances. Now, when I was saying we was making that money, we was giving away that money. We weren't keeping the money. And hey, when the Lord had to speak to my husband, he said, "How can I bless you when you keep giving it back?" Because he would give away everything, and then, hey, I caught on to giving too. And one particular time, we got somewhere, and we both decided to give all. And we didn't know how we was going to get back home.
They gave away gas money.
We gave away the gas money too. But hey, we had to learn how to rightly divide the word, and how to do it. So we made some mistakes, but through it all, the Lord blessed us. And the Lord blessed us that we was able to give houses, we've been able to give cars, and so many other things. And it gives me joy to be able to do it. Somebody may not understand that. Even when I didn't have money to give, I would take the spread off the bed. I took my children's clothes, the beds. We sold out. We sold out a lot of times, over and over again, and we'll start over. But the Lord always blessed us with more than we had the time before. And like Sister Greg was saying, you learn to be content in whatever state you're in. Hey, when we was poor, and at one time, and we didn't even know it. That's we was blessed among the poor. We was blessed among the poor. They looked at us and they thought we had something. Right. But it was God. He always manifested through us some kind of way. And even when they laughed at us, when we had to put a brick behind the car, because like I said, they keep it from rolling away. I can remember the musician laughing at me because I was over there praising them in the dance, thanking them in advance for what was coming. And when they know anything, we was riding up in a new car, brand new, that I saw in Tilton up on these high-rise things they have spinning around. I said, I like that. And hey, we went there and we got that. But yeah, that's just one of the testimonies.
Can't beat God given.
That's right.
Can't beat God
And
given.
Ella Ranger was saying you can't beat them taken. That's key in itself. I would like for y'all to do one last thing before we close out, and to talk about the blending of the old and the new. How does it work where the mothers that's 80 years old, the deacons that's 70 years old, but then you have newcomers that's coming in today? How do we blend these and use all of these for the building of the kingdom, the old church and the new church? What are some things that we can gain from one another?
Well, I say you got take the wisdom, take the wisdom, and don't a lot of the generation now they don't like to take the wisdom from the older people. But I can understand that as well, but not all of them. But that's what we as the seasoned Christians are to be the wisdom for and be the light for the younger generation under us. Because that's when I was growing up, that's what we had in our community. Everybody was, they kept, covered the children, and it wasn't about was you related to them or whatever that older person said or whatever. We took it to heart, and we want to impart that in our generation now. Because some of them, I don't say all of them, but some of them, they may get it later, but they kind of in tune to just the now. The now. But I think as they grow older, just like we had to learn, they was telling us something, we took chances and things, so we can't be hard on them either because we was forever learning and coming to the knowledge of truth. It still is today. But I just want to be a part of the process from where I came from to today to help them to see the light in me and that I could be that light for them, if they're trying to find their way,
I think that's key. What you just said is basically saying this generation we're standing on the shoulders of the former generation.
Right.
And the reason we can see what we see in this generation is because of what the foundation is standing on that wisdom.
Right.
It's good foundation.
Good foundation.
Solid.
Mom, if there was one thing that you could say that we could gain from your generation that you see that needs to definitely be incorporated in this generation, that we don't forget where we came from.
Prayer.
I knew it.
Yes.
Amen.
We prayed a lot.
Yes.
We prayed every day. We prayed in the morning. We prayed at noon. In the evening too. The children we took time out that at our house, 6 o'clock if anybody called, they know we weren't gonna answer the telephone because we had to pray until the Lord speak to us.
Yes.
And then we ate supper after we had our prayer. But even in the church we prayed. The praise team prayed at least 30 minutes before the service started. We didn't just walk in, run in, get on it. We prayed. We fast. And even when we started out, people started complaining about it because they said it got to be a habit. But we would let over 2 days go by without fasting a day. And when I say we fast a day, we fast without what? Food and water. We wasn't just, we had to get a little wisdom, the drink some juice or something like that. And somebody was always asking you to fast with them. So we had to learn we couldn't fast with everybody 3 days.
That's
because
right.
So we found out some of them weren't fasting. They
Right.
had us
They let you do it.
Right.
and my body was leaning up against the wall trying to hold on.
Well, I definitely appreciate this moment. There's something I want to pull from what both of you said. One is the wisdom, the other is the prayer. And I think those things that we do have to make sure that we incorporate in this new generation.
Yes.
We know the new generation have a lot of ideas. They're very innovative. I'm messing this word up. all together, and they're strong with great strength. So while we're using the strength of today and the wisdom of yesterday, I think we can get the things done that we need to get done. We thank y'all so much, Mom, for sharing this opportunity with us, sharing y'all wisdom. We don't know when we'll do it again, but we're gonna have to do it again.
Yes.
And we're gonna obviously we know we'll be eating again without the cameras, but we'll do it again on camera. It's just
Look, Mama going for the
she
bacon.
just ready to go for it. And we're gonna go get some sugar to make sure these strawberries are sweet. And we're gonna get right to it. Do we have anything, Shannon? Would you like to say anything before?
I don't. I have enjoyed myself.
I enjoyed myself. Thank y'all for joining in with us. I don't know how y'all feel or what y'all seeing. I can't see comments. This is a little weird for me. But thank y'all for joining in. It has been great.
Stay
Thank y'all.
encouraged.
Stay encouraged and be encouraged.
Yes.